Very good morning, students, and warm welcome in this particular class, that is respiration. In previous class, we have discussed that when food is ingested, then digestion takes place, and the digested food move from the blood capillaries to the cell. There, that is called assimilation. Now, respiration is the process in which assimilated food oxidized inside cell to get energy. Respiration is the process in which the assimilated food oxidized inside the cell to get energy. It means the main emphasis, main intention of the respiration is to release energy. That may be in form of the ATP or in form of the NADPH2. We can define this respiration in another way also, that is the some total chemical reactions take place inside cell. Some total chemical reactions take place inside cell. Inside cell, the assimilated food is present, and that assimilated food go into the chemical reactions, and that chemical reaction is called respiration. But this chemical reaction is overall called metabolism. So we can say that the metabolism is the sum total chemical reaction take place inside cell. And this metabolism is of two types, that is called catabolism and anabolism. The main intention of the respiration to release ATP. But the metabolism is the catabolism and anabolism. In anabolism, what happens? The smaller chemicals combine to form larger one. And in catabolism, the larger chemicals break into smaller. Mainly it has been observed during respiration, this catabolic activity will be takes place. So we can say that the catabolism is the respiration. Because the example of the catabolism is the respiration, and the example of the anabolism is the mainly photosynthesis. Or inside the human being or the other animals, the protein synthesis or the fat formation or the nucleic acid formation is also under the anabolic reactions. Now, the respiration is mainly of two types. That is aerobic and anaerobic. It has been observed that in anaerobic, the food completely break into the energy and CO2 and H2 is released. Suppose the food is C6H12O6. that is glucose. Inside cytoplasm, the glycolysis is a process, the first step of the aerobic respiration or anaerobic respiration. Both respiration have need of the glycolysis. Without this glycolysis, both would not be started. So we can say that the first step of the respiration is the glycolysis. Glycolysis take place inside cytoplasm, and their product is pyruvic acid. Now from pyruvic acid, if further reaction takes place in presence of oxygen, that is called aerobic, then it will insert inside the mitochondria, and by the process of Krebs cycle and electron transport chain, it will convert into H2O plus CO2 plus ATP. If oxygen is not abundantly available, then what happens? Either it will convert into lactic acid plus ATP, or convert into ethyl alcohol plus CO2 plus ATP. Just you observe that it is organic compound, and this organic compound is completely break into the H2O, CO2 and ATP released. This is all about the aerobic respiration, and during aerobic respiration we have observed that the complete breakdown of the organic substance into the ATP. So the number of ATP released in aerobic respiration is more than that of the anaerobic respiration. But in case of anaerobic respiration, you have observed that this organic matter is converted into again organic matter. It is also organic matter, and ATP is also been released. It means the number of ATP released is lesser in anaerobic respiration rather than that of the aerobic respiration. Here we will see that the aerobic and anaerobic respiration is the type of the respiration, and actually this respiration is called cellular respiration. It is a very much little knowledge about this particular cellular respiration. Now, the respiration can be studied in three subheadings, that is called external respiration, internal respiration, and cellular respiration. Just we have seen that what happens in the cellular respiration. Now we will have to discuss that what happens in this particular respiration. This external respiration is nothing but a breathing. Means the inhalation and exhalation. That is called inhalation and exhalation. Means insertion of the air inside the body and exit of the air out inside from the body, that is called breathing, and this is called external respiration. But what happens during, why this will happen? What is the significance of this breathing? That the transport of O2 and CO2. The transport of O2, that is from the respiratory organ to blood and to cell cytoplasm. And that is the movement of the O2, respiratory organ, to the blood to cytoplasm. And if this arrow is like this, then what happens? From cytoplasm, the carbon dioxide moves to the blood, and from blood, carbon dioxide moves to the respiratory organ, and from respiratory organ it will move to the outside the body. This is called internal respiration, and in this particular cellular respiration we have discussed previously that what happens in this cellular respiration. Now we know that in animals there are so many types of respiratory organs. On the basis of this particular respiratory organ, or you can also classify this respiration on the basis of the involved respiratory organ. Number one, if amoeba. In amoeba what happens? You know that the amoeba is the freshwater individual, and direct diffusion is the process of the respiration or the process of the breathing in that particular individual. What happens? Suppose this one is the amoeba and it leads their life in water. If the O2 contents and CO2 contents is here, from water O2 inside and from body CO2 outside. It means the body surface or the cellular plasma membrane is involved in this particular respiration, so it is called body surface respiration or the surface respiration by direct plasma membrane. In amoeba, direct plasma membrane. Now, in second case, if the respiration through skin or exchange of gases through the skin, that is called cutaneous respiration. Cutaneous respiration. And it will mainly take place in the earthworm. Not only earthworm, but other also. But just I am giving you an example that earthworm is mainly respired with the help of their cuticle. So it is called cutaneous respiration. Thirdly, that is respiration through gills. It has been observed that the dissolved water, dissolved oxygen in water will be taken by the individual through gills and get rid of the carbon dioxide also from the gills to the body. Now, this is called gills, and this respiration through gills. It is called branchial respiration, and this branchial respiration is mainly take place inside fish or frog larva, so many others. In case of the insects, it has been observed that the trachea systems are present in the body and their outlet is present side of the body in here and here, and the gaseous exchange will take place inside body through trachea, so it is called tracheal respiration. But in case of mainly amphibians, reptiles, birds and mammals, the respiratory surface or respiratory organ is mainly lungs, and that is called pulmonary respiration, and we will have to discuss the pulmonary respiration in detail in previous lecture.